What's good, y'all? We are here for another video today, and today I'm gonna be reviewing my 16 favorite albums of all time because I'm 16 years old, so that's the way we're gonna do it here. And so these are all albums that have been there many points in my life, that where I really just love all the songs on them, or at very least like maybe one or two I don't like, but they're really just 10 out of 10 albums nonetheless. And these are ones that have gotten me through hard times, or I just like really enjoy. Now for all my love country music, none of their albums made no country albums made this list. Because I've only been listening for about a year or so, and so like, something kind of just made sense to me. Um, these are ones that have either been like lifelong favorites, especially as you get further down the list, or ones that I just really enjoy and have for a long time. So with that, let's start off with a good one in Van Halen 2 by Van Halen. Now, their first album is considered to be the best by most of their fans, but this one I enjoy more. There's some real rockers like DOA Dead or Alive, um, Beautiful Girls. That's the name of it. Dance the Night Away. I think I'm at Bottoms Up. There's some really fun songs in here, and I think they just really it's not experimental. It's not it's the sound they go from the first album pretty much again. But I think they just I still more fun with it. I feel like on this one. The next one will be Stevie Ray Vaughan's Texas Flood. And when I was looking through albums to put in my top 16 list, I was thought there's no way I could like exclude Texas Flood. Um, some of my saved albums on Spotify, and I was like, wow, there's just no way I could forget this. It is so iconic. I would say Pride and Joy is most popular song is on this one. Then you have the title track, of course, Texas Flood. And Mary Had a Little Lamb. And this is just like this is like peak blues rock to me. He borrows influences from a lot of like pioneering blues artists like Albert King and BB King, Freddie King, like all the Kings. Um, but he kind of just made his like own thing with it, and that's where you're like blues rock. And there's definitely more, and especially in the honorable mentions. But he's really just a favorite artist of mine, Texas legend. Had a long career ahead of him, but unfortunately was in a plane crash at the height of his career. Next one is No Jacket Required by Phil Collins. I've probably liked this album since about seventh grade. Um, that was when I really discovered it and like went through all the tracks for it. I'd say so. Studio, that first one. The standout track that a lot of fans like is One More Night. That was nice and chill. But then it's just a lot of like just grooves on here. Only You Know and I Know. Who Said I Would? Don't Lose My Number. Inside Out. Um, that's a really it's just the most solid album I feel like. There's like no filler tracks. Just like there's like every song just like hits on this one. It's really great. I think it's his best solo work. Next one. Have You Been by Giant Rooks. This is the most recent release that made my top 16. Just because it was just so amazing. I heard one of the songs by it on Music League, and then I went to the album and listened to it, and I was like, wow, this is really good. A couple months later, went back, listened to it again, and I'm like, yeah, this is really good. And then, especially on my walks last fall, like, this was the soundtrack for it. I particularly appreciate the drums on this album. So many good tracks like Brave New World, Under Your Wings, Pink Skies, and just some like unforgettable ones like For You, that'd be my wedding video. Thinking like Morning Blue, no Fight Club. Yeah, there's just so many good songs on this album, and hopefully they release something else soon. This was the early 2024. Great indie rock band out of Germany. So next one is Muniz by Van Morrison. This is about my life for as long as I can remember. I remember when my dad was introducing my mom to some music, he was like, "Okay, this is the most romantic album I know," and I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like it'd be good." And I guess when I first heard it, it had to have been like when I was really young. I gotta remember, we were at least at my old house, and we've had the CD for a long time. And something it's like I haven't always like been listening on repeat and stuff, but it's just always been there nonetheless. And so I think number 12 here, that's just right. And so you're gonna have the tracks like Into the Mystic. That's the real iconic one from this one. But then you're gonna have Crazy Love, title track Moon Dance, Caravan. I really love that one. And It Stoned Me. It's just like there are no bad tracks on this album. Like just every single one hits. Um, and yeah, with that we go to the record company's debut album, Give It Back to You. This was back in 2016. I remember hearing the lead single "Off the Ground" on the radio a lot during that time period, and I really liked that song. But then when I got Spotify for myself, I went back to listen to more songs in the album, and it was just full of gold, man. It's really roots rock at its finest. I'd say like "On the Move," "Feels So Good," "Hard Day Coming Down," "Rita Mae Young." There's just so many good tracks on this album, and this one and their other albums, like the fourth album, All of This Life, and Play Loud, have been in my rotation ever since I got Spotify, like all the time. They were my number three or number four artist last year, I think. Just really, really good, great rock music. Number 10 is Hysteria for Def Leppard. And this was a fun one because my brother Malcolm likes to say I stole this band from him because he started listening to them first, and then I kind of like really picked it up last year when we were going to their concert at Wrigley Field. And for the longest time, also, I said like, "Oh, this album's like too pop," like their earlier ones are better. But the more I listen to Hysteria, the more it's just like I realize just like how much I like it, especially the drums in it. Um, I obviously have like the standout tracks: "Pour Some Sugar on Me," "Love Bites," "Animal," "Armageddon." It. But then the aren't singles are actually good too. Like I'm thinking "Rocket," "Women," Love and Affection, Run Riot, and Shotgun. There's just no like there's no track that's like just in there. It's like, oh, it's just there. There's no song that's just like it's just filler. Um, every song just hits on the album, especially the title track Hysteria at the concert last year. They really jammed out on that one. It was awesome to see. And so yeah, lands here at number 10. One of my favorite rock albums. Number 9, Shake Your Moneymaker by the Black Crowes. Another one where I've heard the singles on the radio almost my whole life, but then I went to explore the whole album when I got Spotify. And so you have the big ones: She Talks to Angels, the cover of Hard to Handle, Twice as Hard, Jealous Again. But then, and then Deco's non-singles also stand out. They're my favorites, honestly. Stare It Cold, Strutting Blues, Thick and Thin, Seeing Things. It's just a really, really solid album of blues rock from 1990. And honestly, like Blackheart is such a good band. This isn't my favorite album from them. That one comes later on the list. Number 8 is Thank You for Today by Death Cab for Cutie. I recently rediscovered how good this album was back a couple months ago. I've known Death Cab for a long time because my mom's a big fan of them, and we saw their 20th anniversary show of Transatlanticism back 2 years ago. And this is another one where I've heard singles on the radio from them. But then when I got Spotify, I went to really like look at this whole album again. I realized more that we actually had the CD when I was younger, and it was like on repeat for me when I was in like maybe third, fourth grade, and so many tracks just stand out to me. Summer Years, favorite one of mine. Singles are like Gold Rush and Northern Lights. Then of course we have Autumn Love, Near and Far, I Dreamt We Spoke Again, and I'm honestly favorite album from them is Asphalt Meadows, the most recent one. But this one just stands out to me. It's probably just a nostalgia one, just because it's been in my life for so long. But even like this morning, I listened to Summer Years, and it's just like it's so freaking good. Definitely, I think it's my top indie rock album on here. At number 7, Octane Baby by U2, and for a long time, I've called it my all-time favorite. But honestly, the more I look at it, um, I realize there's other albums that are like, and when I was ranking this, it was like, okay, I'm just gonna put what I think, and I'm gonna have like one, two, three, and kind of like when Ryan Train and Haley were doing the 50 States series, and they were like, oh, like, every time I see an album, I have to like put it one more down, even though I don't want to, because they're all really cool houses. It's standing for me. It's like every time I had to put an album down, I was like, oh, but I don't want to because this is actually a really good album too. At this point, the rankings are kind of just like they're like all tied for number one because Lifetime Baby has been a favorite of mine again for as long as I can remember. I'm also a fan of U2 since before I was born, and I have memories of hearing this album in Orlando on car drives. Just sounds like mysterious ways, even better than the real thing. Zoo Station, and it's just like it's so memorable every time, and brings me back to like vacations in Florida and times in the car and times with my mom, and it's just a really really great album start to finish. And even some of the B side tracks are great too, like Blow Your House Down and Salome and Where Did It All Go Wrong. And so it's really just one of their best albums, but you'll see it's not even tops for me with you two. Number six is Eliminator by CC Top. This is also a band that's my favorite ever since I got Spotify, pretty much. Because I used to hear Sharp Dressed Man on the radio all the time, and and I kind of went to the album and realized there's so many more songs on here that were good. Other than Got Me Under Pressure, Legs, I Got the Six, and much more that this is really ZZ Top's this is like ZZ Top's like into the mainstream, even though they had big hits before like Lagrange. I feel like this is like their big like mainstream rock album. And it's really, really good. All songs hit the spot. And yeah. And before we get to the top five, I have to mention some albums that were really, really close are still ones that are like 10 out of 10s. Or one track maybe I don't like. That would be right here. So first we're gonna have Mirrors by Matthew Scott. Really great blues rock album that came out 2 years ago. I discovered last year. I'm really that's been on repeat for me, especially as of late. I wouldn't say by Poison. Another one by that my brother Malcolm introduced me to that has just some great like hair metal rock and definitely just reminds me of like summers where on the way to swim team you just play the same like Fallen Angel or Nothing But a Good Time and I still love it today. Then Pyromania by Def Leppard. That was the big thing at their set, at their concert. They put a lot of Pyromania there, and I knew all the words to every song, and it landed just behind Hysteria for me. Then it would be Against the Wind by Bob Seger. That's my favorite soft rock album for sure. Um, I said Phil Collins kind of counts, but because of some of his more upbeat songs, I say Bob Seger, my favorite soft rock album. Definitely his best work, Against the Wind, Her Strut, Better Lose Getting Out Tonight, You'll Accompany Me. So many unforgettable tracks on this one. That's gonna be Sounds of Innocence by U2. Another one that was in my childhood for as long as I can remember, and I still play all the time. Trouble Is by Kenny Wayne Shepherd, more great blues rock. This one's a more recent discovery, so that's why it didn't make the all-time list. But it's still, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then it's Kenny Wayne Shepherd when it comes to blues rock, especially on like solo artists. It's great. Joshua Tree by U2. Another like, it's where the most famous tracks are. So Where the Streets Have No Name, With or Without You. I still don't know what I'm looking for. But there's more I love, like One Tree Hill, Red Hill Mining Town, In God's Country, Trip Through Your Wires. Really great album start to finish there. And then of course Van Halen by Van Halen, their OG album. That's also really good, but I just ranked Van Halen 2 a little bit higher. And then one album cover I forgot to put in here was Recycled by ZZ Top, which gets a little more blues rock, so it gets away from the mainstream, but there's some really good tracks on that one for sure. Number five here is going to be Colors by Beck, and this album again came out when I had to have been like 8 or 9 or so. This is about 2017. And Dreams, my favorite song for so long. I remember I had like a list at the time of like my favorite song every year. I think Dreams is the one made it like 3 years in a row. It's that good. The rest of the album is just like there's so many good songs. It just grooves from start to finish. I mean, Colors, Seventh Heaven, Dear Life, I'm So Free, Up All Night, Wow, Square One. Just like there's no tracks to me that just like I could like guess it within a second of it playing, just like oh yeah, that's that song because it's so good. Number four, Southern Harmony Musical Companion by the Black Crowes. This is their second appearance on the list, and it's well deserved. This is definitely their best time at Southern rock, and my dad's not a big fan, especially when things get a bit more country, but he really enjoys this album, and especially the song "Thorn in My Pride." There's just some really beautiful songs on this album. I would say "Remedy," "My Morning Song," "Sting Me," "Black Moon Creeping," "Miserable." Um, it's so great start to finish, and like there's not one song I would say I don't like on this one. Number three, and U2's second appearance as well, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. Another one that's been in my childhood for a long time, but then I rediscovered, especially last year, and it's really like, for all the U2 albums I enjoy, this is one that I can just press play on and listen all the way through. I'm singing all the way through, and it just like, it feels every single time. I would say, especially I love the guitar on Miracle Drug. And we have City of Blinding Lights, All Because of You, Love and Peace or Else, Vertigo, Sometimes You Can't Make It on Your Own, One Step Closer, Original of the Species. Just like it's not a standout album of theirs among like the mainstream, but it's definitely their best in my eyes. Number two is Violator by Depeche Mode. Um, Honestly, for all the country I've listened to lately, since it's kind of gotten pushed out, but that shouldn't take away that Depeche Mode is my number one. They were number one artist 2023. They were number three last year. They've hung around to the rotation, and this album especially it's got a really chill vibe to it. It's one that's like definitely best like listen to at night, but like or like any rainy day or stuff. It's just like there's so many unforgettable tracks on this one. This is where they vacate, enjoy the silences, and you know, policy of truth. Um, Now, and this is number one barely because there's some songs I don't actually like on here. It's kind of like I call like haunting piano ballads. That's like Mephisto and Sidling. That's like it's just weird for me. Like I need to hear some like Halloween, but not any other time of the year. And so otherwise, you have Waiting for the Night, World in My Eyes, Blue Dress, Clean, Dangerous, Happiest Girl. Like um, it's so fun for me to sing this one, and yeah, not a track skippable really. Number one, and I thought about this for a long time, but I realized like this had to take a spot, right? It's one of my It's been here almost my whole life. Um, Both of my parents really enjoy it. I saw it live, which just enhanced the experience even further. I listened to it on a plane. Like there was nothing else that would have taken the number one spot. Like it just had to be it. Get Up is Post Service is a one album project with Ben Gibbard and Jenny Lewis and that kind of crowd. But it's just so good, and it's really like it's kind of like experimental like indie music, but like so many great songs, such great heights. Sleeping In, District Sleeps Alone Tonight, Nothing Better, Clark Gable, This Place is a Prison, Natural Anthem. My dad especially loved Natural Anthem. We Will Become Silhouettes, Recycled Air. I just named every single song on the album, and even a bonus side with like covers and stuff. But really, it's just um it's so relaxing, but at the same time, like it keeps you hooked, like locked in. Um, it's a really special album to me, especially after seeing it live. And then again, like I heard it on a plane, and then it's just like there's so many memories for this one. It's been around my whole life. Um, and even today, I still listen to a lot of their songs, and it's really like as soon as no matter what's on this album plays, like as soon as I hear "Come My Cue," I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. And so that'll do it for the list now. I hope you enjoyed. Leave any thoughts of your favorite albums in the comments or any other thoughts you have about this list. Next year, I might remake it for 17. You never know, things might change between now and then. There might be a really good country album that comes out. But for now, that's my all time list. And thanks for watching. Peace out.